Hello again. I was thinking about doing a kind of personal blog about the kind of day I had today, but fact is my day was pretty shitty and I don't want to talk about it. I think the stress of all this is starting to get to me. I'm starting to get really wound up really quite easily, and I got to do something about that, I think. But the good news is the first batch of DVDs and comics went out today. They got posted, so if you've ordered them, they are on their way to you as we speak. So what am I going to talk about today instead? Well, something very interesting. I was doing my regular rounds of the internet, reading a few news sites and things, and a few of the stories I was reading that were seemingly unrelated started mysteriously to form links in my mind. The first thing I was reading about is Google have recently increased the level of focus they put on their Mac software. They've just sort of relaunched a whole bunch of them, and they've made a little page with all the Mac-related widgets and gadgets and pieces of software. And when they did this release, they made a little public statement to a few people in the press that they're very serious about their mission, including universal access to all their tools and bits and pieces, and they want to provide products and services to the tens of millions of Mac users that are out there in the world. And they've recruited a whole bunch of Mac heads to work on the widgets and add-ins and the applications and all the stuff that Google do aside from their search engine stuff. So basically what we gather from that is Google's quite interested in the Apple side of things, and they've got a whole new focus on the Apple side of their business. Okay, we'll put that aside for a second. The other thing Google have done recently, as we all know about already, they bought YouTube. I'm not really going to say much about this because we all already know the story. Long story short, Google now owns the biggest video sharing site on the internet. Let's put that one aside on top of the other one there. So what we've got so far in my little stack here, Google, very interested in the Mac side of things, employing Mac heads to get things rolling, and really focusing on the Mac community and making sure all the Apple users out there are happy and well looked after as far as their software goes. On top of that, in the little stack, we've got Google buying YouTube. How do these things work together? Well, we need a third piece of information to make this all glue together really, really well. At the recent Macworld Expo, Steve Jobs announced, the new line of iPods, the new Intel-based iMacs and all that sort of stuff. And he did something very, very unusual for Apple. And that is, he previewed a product that they're not prepared to launch yet. Apple almost never ever do this. In fact, I can't remember the last time they did something like that. Usually when they have their big press conference and things, they bring out a shiny new product, they talk about it, and they say, and it's in stores starting tomorrow. That's how they do things. They keep a real tight lid on stuff until they're ready to release it to the masses. But they didn't do that this time. They previewed a product that's, for the moment, codenamed iTV. And the plan is for iTV, or whatever it's going to wind up being called, to be, to us, in the living room, what the iPod became to us for outdoors. We're going to be able to stream the movies and music and all that sort of stuff you download from the iTunes store to your TV, stream any movies you got on a hard drive to your TV, all this done wirelessly, so there's no wires, no muss, no fuss, and of course it's an Apple product, so it's going to be really intuitive and really easy to use and just work. So what has this got to do with the previous two items in my stack? Think about it. Google, interested in the Apple side of things. Google, owning the biggest video sharing site on the internet. And Apple about to release an internet-connected video player for your living room. So you've got to think to yourself, what does this mean for the iTV? Is it going to have YouTube functionality? Are we going to be able to surf YouTube in our living rooms with a remote control? Alongside the movies we've got on our hard disks and our DVDs and our iTunes music and all that sort of stuff, all in one neat little shiny white Apple device. I'm very, very interested to see what happens with this. There's another Apple Expo press conference thing happening in January, and a lot of people have been starting a lot of rumours about what's going to be announced at this particular press conference. I mean, you've got the iPhone. The iPhone rumours have been going around for ages. Apple releasing a mobile telephone that's also iTunes compatible and all that sort of stuff. And if they do bring something out like that, I want it because it's going to be good. Talking about the new Core 2 Duo chips going into the MacBook Pros and things like that. I'm really, really hoping we find out more about the iTV and whether or not we're going to have YouTube expanding even further right into people's living rooms through this little set-top box. And that's a really exciting development because you got Google, regarded as one of the least evil mega corporations out there. They're growing and growing and growing and growing, and their official or unofficial motto is "Do no evil," which I think is a little kick at Microsoft. Apple's much the same. And you've got YouTube, which is just bringing everyone together. It's been a worldwide sensation. You squish all these three together, and you've got the potential for something awesome. So that's my tech news prediction for today. Keep your eyes open. Oh, and because I seem to miss the boat on the whole make up a wacky new acronym for Google and YouTube together, GooTube or Google and all that sort of hilarious crap. Let me be the first to coin a new one. GoAppleTube. GappleTube. You Apple Google. Ah, screw it. Catch you next time.